Jitendra everyone. So we are starting with the today's lecture. So the topic is K-map, okay, also known as Karnaugh maps. So these are the contents of today's lecture. Introduction, K-map layouts for 2, 3 and 4 variables, and then grouping possibilities, then POS type K-maps, and then 5 variable K-maps. Okay.
Jitendra everyone. So we are starting with the today's lecture.
Sorry.
So the topic is K-map, okay, also known as Karnaugh maps. So these are the contents of today's lecture.
So Karnaugh maps are systematic method to minimize the Boolean expressions. Okay. In Boolean algebra, in normal Boolean algebra, we have to use Boolean laws. So there is a possibility that when we are solving expressions using Boolean laws, then some of the law might be clicking into someone's minds, then he will be able to solve that in fewer steps, and somebody might not be able to eventually solve that. But it is a systematic method. That means if 4 students are solving it, or any number of students are solving that using K-map, then everybody will be following the same procedure and everybody will be getting the same answer. Okay, so they are a visual representation of the truth table. These are cell based structure. For n variables, number of cells are 2 raised to power, and this is most important thing. To prepare, this will be used to prepare the structure of the K-map. For example, if we are having 2 variables, then 2 raised to power 2, there will be 4 boxes or 4 cells in the K-map. Similarly for 3, 2 raised to power 3 variables, for 2 raised to power 3, 8. Okay. Similarly, cells are labeled in gray counting. This is another important point. That means you will not be using 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. This is a plain binary counting. Okay. Instead, we will be using the gray one, which says that 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0. Okay. So the rows and columns of the K-maps will be labeled as gray numbers 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0 and so on. So either ones or zeros from the truth table can be used to solve the K-maps. Generally, in our complete subject, we will be following that. We will be using only ones in the K-map, but specifically if examiner is asking that you have to solve this expression using POS type K-map. Okay. So for POS type K-map, we will be picking zeros from the truth table. And this is also known to us that in this we have seen in our previous lecture that these ones correspond to min terms and these zeros corresponds to max terms. Okay. So what we have to do, we have to group adjacent ones or zeros. That means the ones which are lying nearby with each other in predefined shapes and predefined sizes can be grouped. So what are these rules? So first, let's prepare the structures before going to that rules. So for 2 variables, 2 raised to power 2, that means 4 cells are there. That means you can see that 0, 1, 2 and 3. And how these are obtained? These are the 2 variables A and B. This we have to ensure that the flow is always from MSB to LSB. So A is the LSB and B is MS. A is MSB and B is LSB. Okay. So flow is from A to B always. So this 0, 0 means equivalent to 0, 0, which becomes 0. Similarly, this 0 from here and 1 from the column 0, 1. 0, 1 becomes 1. Similarly, this 1, 0, 1, 0 becomes 2 and this 1, 1 becomes 3. Okay. Similarly, we can prepare the 3 variable structure. So in the 3 variable structure, we can see that there are 3 variables, these A, B and C. So for 3 variables, the number of cells will be 2 raised to power 3, that means equal to 8. So 8 cells are there. So you can see from the structure, and A is deciding the row which is having 2 values 0 or 1. B and C can have 4 values 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1. This is the change which I was saying, that this is as per gray counting, because if this would have been binary, then this 1, 1 would not have been there, they would have been 1, 0 and at the end 1, 0. Okay. So this is gray sequence 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0. We can see that between any 2 numbers only 1 bit is changing, that's why it is termed as gray counting. Similarly, we can label these cells as well. 0, 0 equivalent to 0. Similarly, you can see 0 from here, 1, 1 from here, 0, 1, 1. 0, 1, 1 means 3. Similarly, any other cell 1 from here and 1, 1 from here, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 corresponds to 7. So in this way, all the cells of this 3 variable K map are numbered. Okay. Similarly, we can proceed to the 4 variable structure, which are having 4 variables A, B, C and D. So for 4 variables, number of cells will be 2 raised to power 4, that means equal to 16. So for 16 cell K map, AB is having these 4 values, CD is having these 4 values. Okay. We just have to remember that we are only swapping third and fourth entries. Okay. So in this 2 variable K map, this AB, this one, and this one, there was no third and fourth entry. That means there was neither a third row, fourth row, or third column or fourth column. So there was no need of swapping. The counting was simple: 0, 1, 2 and 3. But in 3 variable K map, we saw that there are third and fourth columns. So the entries of third and fourth column was swapped. You can simply remember it like this: 0, 1, 2 in the fourth column and 3 in the third column. Similarly, going in the next row, 4, 5, instead of 6, 7, we are writing 7, 6. So similarly, we can prepare this layout for the 4 variable K map like this: 0, 1, instead of 2, 3, we are writing 3, 2. Then 4, 5, 7, 6. Then instead of writing the next sequence in the third row, I am writing the sequence in the fourth row: 8, 9, 11, 10, 12, 13, 15, 14. So entries of the third and fourth column are also swapped. Entries from the third and fourth row are also swapped. Okay. So this is how we can prepare the layout of the K map. Okay. So now coming to the grouping rules. So group size can be in 2 raised to power n form. That means group size can be either 2 raised to power 0, 2 raised to power 1, 2 raised to power 2, 2 raised to power 3 and so on. 2 raised to power 0 is 1, 2 raised to power 1 is 2, 2 raised to power 2 is 4, 2 raised to power 3 is 8. So these can be the different sizes of the groups which can be formed via K map. Okay. Now the target. What is the target? If I am having ones in the K map, then whether I should be targeting maximum number of groups or minimum number of groups. So the answer is we have to make minimum number of groups. Okay. And minimum number of groups should cover all the ones. That means if there is a possibility, if one of the student is making 3 groups to cover 5 ones and another student is making 2 groups to cover 5 ones, then the 2 will be given priority because the number of groups are lesser. Lesser the number of groups, simpler will be the expression obtained through the K map. Okay. So each group form should be as large as possible. Now this is next rule which has to be given priority. So if a student is making group of 4 ones and another student is making group of 8 ones to cover the different ones, so I will be prioritizing the higher size, keeping in mind that the rule number 2 is not violated. Number of group, first priority has to be given to number of groups should be as minimum as possible. And further going, whatever the groups I am making, those groups should be as large as possible. Okay. And the last one, check for the redundant group, because when we are starting with these kind of topics in which these are kind of puzzle type of questions, so there are possibility that we might be making more number of groups to cover the same number of ones. So we have to check that whether all the groups which I have made are required or not. This can be easily checked by checking that all the groups should be having at least a single one which is only present in that group. That only justifies the making of that group. Otherwise, if we feel that a group is having 2 ones and both the ones are covered already in other groups, then there is no need of that group. We can simply remove that group. So that will be the redundant group. Okay. So now let's solve one question. So you are provided with this truth table. This is a 3 variable problem. A, B, C are the inputs and Y is the output. So you can check from this truth table that there are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. These 5 locations and this one also. These 6 locations are giving you high output. So the min terms are 0, 1, 1 correspond to 0, 0, 1 corresponding to 1, 0, 1, 0 corresponding to 2. This is 3, 1, 0, 0, 4, 1015 and 1117. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. These are the minterms. So we have to feed these minterms into the K-map. As we have shown that in the previous slide, we have mentioned that they are a visual representation of the truth table. Okay, they are the visual representation of the truth table. That means the 8 rows of the truth table have to be fitted in the 8 cells of the K-map. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 7. So these are the different entries which have been marked in this K-map. So we have to make sure that group sizes can be of size 1, 2, 4 or 8. Now we can simply see that this is one of the quad which can be made. For this I will make a pair, and for this another pair. So I can see that I have made 2 pairs and 1 quad. So these 2 pairs, if I label them as 1 and 2, and this quad as my third group. So from 1 I can see that from this 1 I have to obtain an expression. So if I see that from this 4 and 5, this thing, okay, this 4 and 5, if I check the column, I see this is 1 which corresponds to A. If that would have been 0, that it would have been A bar. So for this 4 and 5 group, I can see that there is A common to both of them. Then I have to go to these 2 columns which are involved in this group. Then I see that this is 0 is common. 0 corresponds to B. That means it will be B bar. So A from the row side and B bar from the column side. So the answer from this group is A, B bar. Similarly, proceeding to the second group, this one. So from this I can see that from row side I am having A bar, and from the last 2 columns I can see that this 1 is common which corresponds to B. That means answer is A bar B. Similarly, if I check the quad, this central one, both the rows are involved. So between all these 4 ones, if I check the rows, first 2 rows, so nothing is common between the rows. First one of the rows is corresponding to A bar, second row is corresponding to A. That means nothing is common between A and A bar. But if I check the columns, 0, 1, 1, 1. So this 1 is common and this one corresponds to C. That means this third group results in answer C. So these are the individual answers which are obtained from this K-map groups. So final answer can be written as Y is equal to A bar A, B bar, answer from the first group, then answer from the second group is A bar B, and the third one is C. So this is the answer which is obtained from the K-map. Okay, is it clear to everyone? So if you are having any query, we will be having in next few slides, we will be practicing these questions. So if you are having any query, you can post in the chat box. If you have any question related to K-map, you can also post that in the chat box. In the next slide, we can see that these are blank layouts. So I will reserve these 2 K-map layouts for your queries. Okay. So if you are having any query, you can send in the chat box. So your queries will be taken once I am done with the practice. So similarly for this 2 variable, now start practicing. If there are these 2 ones, then there will be quad. If there is one also here, another, sorry, these are not quads, these are the pairs. Okay. Similarly, if these are the 2 ones, so we can see that no pairing is possible. I am not even able to make two adjacent ones into one group. So these 2 will be singled out. Okay, singled out means this one and this one will be the single ones. These are not the pairs. Okay. Similarly, if all ones are there, then this will be a quad. So the possibilities which can be there either there will be a 4, group of 4, that means answer for such a K-map will always be 1. That means all the entries are 1, that means it is independent of the variables. No variable will be involved in writing the expression. Okay. Now proceeding to the 3 variables. If I label these, so this will be a quad and there will be another quad which is being formed here. So if there are entries exactly opposite on the edges of the K-map, either on the left right or top bottom, okay, so either on the left right or top bottom, so these entries can also be clubbed into a single group. Okay, so proceeding further, so if there are these kind of entries, so let's design grouping for that. So for this one I am marking is at practice. So for this practice question I am expecting answers from your side, so you will be sending your answers in this chat box, that for this practice question how many groups will be there, number of groups, ब्रैकेट के अंदर आप लिख देंगे साइज ऑफ ग्रुप्स, नंबर ऑफ ग्रुप्स एंड साइज ऑफ ग्रुप्स. दिस आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग फ्रॉम योर साइड. ओके, सो प्लीज reply in the chat box till the time I am making another question. Okay, so I am solving this bottom one and in the meantime I am expecting answers from you for this practice question. So for this third one, if I make grouping, then I can see that this will be a quad, this will also be a quad, and this single one is pending, number 6. Okay, but I have to ensure that if I have to make a group for this 6, that group has to be the of maximum size. Then I will not be targeting it as a single one or a pair. If there is a possibility, I will make it as a quad. So this will also be quad. So for this third one, the answers are 3 quads. Okay, 3 groups, each of size 4. So has any student replied in the chat box? I am checking it. I am checking your responses, just hold on. So what is the answer for this? There is no response in the chat box till now. Okay, I am proceeding further. So if you have any questions regarding this 3 variable K map, you can send in the chat box. I will be taking that, and these 2 I am leaving for your practice questions, for your queries from your side. Then keep this in mind. If you are making a pair, okay, if you are making a pair, then it will eliminate one variable from the group. When you will be writing the expression, if it is a 3 variable problem, if it is a 3 variable problem and you are making a pair, then one of the variable will be eliminated from the group. Similarly, if you are making a quad, then it will eliminate 2 variables from the group. And if you are making octet, then it will eliminate 3 variables from the group. Okay, this you can check from this previous question which you have seen here. You have made a pair, this one. From this pair you have mentioned answer A, B bar, that means C variable has been eliminated. Similarly, this was also a pair. For this pair answer was A bar B, that means again one of the variable is eliminated. And from this quad, we can see that 2 variables are eliminated, A and B, so the answer is only C. Okay, so this is the justification for this. So these are the grouping possibilities for 2 and 3 variables. Now proceeding to the grouping possibilities for 4 variables. So I am making random entries Okay. So I am not solving this one, first one, and I am expecting answers from your side that how many groups will be there and what will be the size of the groups. So please reply in the chat box to make the session interactive. And proceeding to the second one, this one I will be solving. So I am making random entries here and then I will try to solve that. Okay. So these are the entries which I have made. So one tip which will be very useful for you, start making such groups for which there are not many options. You have to be sure that this group has to be there. Okay. For example, for this one, this 12, for this 12 the only possibility is this quad. So start with this one. Okay. Then for this one, 11 number, for this 11 number 1, 11 number high term, you want to check. So again you can check that the only possibility is this one, another quad. Then check for this 7. This 7 can be clubbed with 5 or 6. So there are two options. Leave that. So don't be in a hurry to make that group. Target those groups which you are sure that these are the ones which are definitely going to be there. So similarly you can check for this 0 and 2. So this you have, if you know about that rule, that there can be groups on the corners as well. Okay. So this 0, 2, 8 and 10 will make a quad. Okay. Now we can see that 4 ones are still left. So I can simply make this as a group and this one as another group. So I will not be making 5 and 7. Okay. I will not be making 5 and 7. And if we look at this carefully, there is a mistake in this. What is the mistake? What is this mistake? The mistake is that this 1, 1 which I have made a pair, this can be easily extended into a quad. So you have to check for these possibilities that this will not be a pair but it can be converted into a quad. Okay. So that means there are how many quads? So one of these square quad, then this horizontal quad, third one and the corner one. So 4 quads are there and 1 pair is there. Okay. 4 quad and 1 pair. And for the previous question I have got one answer in the chat box, 3 quad 1 pair. So let's check that whether 3 quad 1 pair, this is the correct one. So 3 quad 1 pair. So this 5 and 7, for this definitely this group has to be there. Okay. For this 9, 11, for this 9, 11, this has to be the quad. Okay. So 2 quads are there. Then for 12 and 14, this can be one of the pair. Okay. So 2 quads 1 pair so far that have been made and 1 quad top row. So the answer is correct which has been mentioned by Jitendra. So 3 quads are there and 1 pair is there. Okay. So this is the way we can group the number of ones in a K-map. So again I am leaving these 2 blank K-map for practice. If anybody is having any question related to 4 variable, if you think this is a question which is creating confusion in your mind from any book or any other source, you can post in the chat box. We will solve that in this blank layouts. So proceeding further, 4 variable minimization. So for this 4 variable minimization, again I can simply enter these terms in this K-map: 0, 1, 2, 4, 5, 0, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 15. So these are the entries which have been marked in this K-map. So we have to make groups in this. So again, if I ask you, can you give the answer for this? So all entries have been made in this K-map. and I'm expecting answers from your side in the chat box. So I have filled the ones in this K map. So you can note down, if you are having pen paper, you can note down in your notebook or that paper, and I am expecting answer from your side that how many quads will be there, how many pairs will be there, or if there is an octet, how many octets will be there, whatever the grouping possibilities are. So I am expecting answer from your side for this one, and till the time I am proceeding to the next thing, don't care, but I will be expecting answer from your side. I am waiting for your replies in the chat box. Okay. So another important concept is this don't care. So this don't care condition, some of the inputs might not affect the system output and some input conditions might never occur. So if we are sure that while solving something, if while preparing a truth table, if I know that this particular input condition, that A is equal to 0, B is equal to 1, C is equal to 1, D is equal to 0, random, any random condition, if I know that I am never going to apply that input in that particular system, then output for that particular input condition would not be 1 or 0. We can refer that as a don't care condition. That means I am not bothered about that input condition. Whatever the system performance will be for this particular thing, I am okay with that. So these input conditions are referred as don't care conditions and can be used as high or low output conditions as per our convenience. So it is up to us that whether we want to use these terms as 1 or 0. If I find that if I consider it as 1, then it will reduce the number of groups or it will make the size of group into a larger one, then I will definitely use that don't care as 1. And if I find that if I use that don't care as 1, then it will increase the number of groups or it will reduce the size of the group, then I will try to avoid that. Okay. So the benefit is it gives more compressed and minimized expression. So we can check that by simply solving this one of the questions 0, 1, 2, 10, 11, 14. So 0, 1, 2, 10, 11 and 14. Then 5, 8, 9 are the don't care terms. 5 is there, 8 is there and 9 is there. So these are the don't care terms. Now if we check that if don't care were not there, then this 10 and 11 would have made a pair. If this 8 and 9, don't care number 8 and 9, these would not have been there, then 10 and 11 would have made a pair. But the presence of 8 and 9 as don't care allows me that I can make a quad of 8, 9, 10 and 11. So this is the benefit of using don't care. So this 8, 9, 10 and 11 will make a quad. Okay. This 14 has no other option, it will make a pair. This 2, okay, this 2 can make a quad on the corners. Just a second. Excuse me, sir. So let's get back. So this can make a quad. Okay. Again, this quad is only possible if I had don't care on 8. If this 8 number don't care would not have been there, then this quad possibility would not have been there. Then the only thing which I could have made, that I could have merged this 2 number with 0 and made a pair. And for this one I can make this pair. So don't care number 5, so don't care at the 5th position is not being used. Okay, so don't care at the 5th position is not being used, because if I consider this as a don't care, if I consider this as 1, then I will have to make another pair which will increase the number of groups. Okay, so in this way we can make optimized pairing. So in the meantime, I have got answers for the previous question, for which I have the Jitendra and Suraj have replied 3 quad 2 pair, and Suraj has replied 3 quad 3 pair. So let's check this previous one, 3 quad 2 pair, 3 quad 3 pair. So the better one seems to be 3 quad 2 pair. So let's check 3 quads. Where are these 3 quads? So these 2 and 6 will be merged with this 0 and 4. This is one of the quad. And for this 1 and 5, okay, for this 1 and 5, this will be a quad. And for this 8 and 12, this will be a quad. Okay, and then these 4 terms are there. This will be a pair and this will be a pair. So 3 quad 2 pairs is the correct answer. Okay, 3 quads 2 pair. So this is the correct answer. Then proceeding further, grouping possibilities for 4 variables with don't care. Again, the first question I am leaving for you. In the meantime, you can solve this. Okay, so you can send your answers for this first one. I am again marking this as a practice question. You can send your replies in the chat box, and I am proceeding towards the next question. So 1 making random entries, then don't care entries random, so if I want to solve this second one, okay, I am solving this second one and expecting answers from your side for the first one. So other students other than Jitendra and Suraj should also try to solve this question. So let's solve this. So one of the prominent groups which is directly I can see that this is definitely going to be made is this one. This squad will be there at the corners, and then this central one, okay, and then this vertical one. So these are the 3 quads which can be made for this second. So we can see that don't care number 4 and don't care number 6, these are not used, because if I use them I will have to make another pair, another group, pair, quad, whatever it is making. So I would have to make another pair which will result into another term in the answer, which will lead to the complex answer. So for the first practice question I am getting answer from Suraj as 4 pairs. So one or two more students, if they can solve, then I will be choosing the best one and then try to justify that it is the correct answer. So I am waiting for some more students. Then in the meantime, let's take one more question. 1 1 1. Okay, so this is a question. Now for this one, so for the previous practice question Jitendra has replied with 2 quad 3 pair. Okay, so I will be getting back to that, but before going there, this third one, again I am marking it as practice question and going back to the first one to justify whether 2 quad 3 pair is correct or 4 pair is correct, which are the 2 answers in the chat box. In the meantime, the students can solve this third K map, and we will be checking the answer for this as well. Okay, so getting back to the first practice question, let's check 4 pairs seem to be the better one, 4 pairs. So where are these 4 pairs? Let's check. So for this 4, there is no possibility of making a quad. So definitely it has to be converted, it has to be made with a pair only. Okay, and the quad possibilities are only lying here. This is one of the quad, this is another quad, so these are the two quads, and I am not able to locate any other quad. So these are the two quads, and then pairs I have to make now. So this can be one of the pair. For this 4 I can make pair this one as a pair, and for this is a pair, and this one, this as a pair. So 2 quads, 3 pairs. Answer, number of groups, location of the number of groups can be different, okay, but the number of groups and size of groups have to be identical. So for this one we can check that there are 2 quads and 3 pairs, and for this one we were having 3 quads, and now I have not got any answer for this third practice question. So if there are no replies, I am solving it. This one will be an octet, okay. For this one, this can be a quad. For this one, this can be another quad, and for this one, another quad, okay. So there are how many? There are 1 octet and 3 quads. So this is the correct answer. 1 octet and 2 quad. Yash Gautam has replied 1 octet, 2 quad. So one of the octet is on the top and bottom, 1 octet and 2 quad. Perfectly correct, because this is not required. Very good, Yash. So if I make this arrangement only, that means one of the octets, this one, this is an octet, okay, this is a quad, and this one another quad. So the answer is 1 octet and 2 quad. Perfectly correct. Okay. So let's proceed further. K-maps with max terms. So now this is interesting. So what is the difference between the K-map with min terms or K-map with max terms? 1, 4, 5, 9, 13, 14, these are the max terms. Now that means these are the locations in the truth table where output is low. That means their output is 0. So instead of feeding ones in the K-map, I will be feeding zeros in the K-map. 0, 1, 4, 5. So 0, 1, 4, 5, 9, 13, 14, 9, 13 and 14. Okay. So these are the zeros which have been entered in the K-map. Now checking the grouping possibilities. Grouping possibilities are exactly similar to the K-maps for which min time type K-map or SOP type K-map. So the grouping possibilities, there will be quad, okay, there will be another quad, and this will be a single one, because there is no adjacent 0 to this one, neither there is 0 on the left, right, top, bottom, in front, edge, anything else, nothing. Okay, so these are the 3 groups. Now the writing of answer for this POS type K-map or maxterm type K-map is different. For that you have to do exactly reverse. This CD, while writing answer for min time type K-maps, we were writing it as C bar D bar. Now instead of writing it as C bar D bar, I am writing it as C plus D, and this will be C plus D bar. This is C bar plus D bar, this is C bar plus D. Similarly this is A plus B, this is A plus B bar. Third one will be A bar plus B bar, and this last one will be A bar plus B. So if I mark these as group number 1, group number 2 and group number 3. So for this first one, if I check this square pattern quad, from the first 2 rows I can see that what is common? A plus B and A plus B bar. Common is A. And from the first 2 columns, what is common? C plus D, C plus D bar. Common is C. So the answer from the first group becomes A plus C. Okay. Similarly, for this second one, this is the quad. From row side, for all these zeros, there is nothing common. Okay. But from the column side, I can check that this corresponds to C plus D bar. So this C plus D bar is common to all these 4 zeros. So answer for this second one is C plus D bar. And for this third one, there is nothing common from the row side or column side. So for this 0, row side is giving third row A plus B bar, A bar plus B bar. Okay. And from the column side, it is plus C bar plus D. Okay. So the final answer will be the product of these sums, A plus C, C plus D bar and A bar plus B bar plus C bar plus D. So while solving POS type KMAP, we have to remember that number of grouping and size of grouping, these rules will not change. These will be identical to the ones which we have used for min term type KMAP, but for these max term type KMAP, the answer writing pattern is slightly different. Okay. So in your chat box, if you can type if it is clear to you. If there is any query, then we will get back to this one. So proceeding further, and again, if you have any more question related to this max term type KMAP, then I am leaving this blank KMAP. If you have any question, you can send in the chat box, we can solve that. Okay. So 5 variable KMAP, the last topic for today's lecture. This is 5 variable KMAP. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can check that 5 variables, that means the number of variables are A, B, C, D and E. So instead of making 2 raised to power 5 32 cell KMAP, I am making 2 KMAPs of 16 cells each. Okay. And BCD part will be common to them. So BCD parts, BCD here and BCD here. So these are the similar type of KMAPs. The only thing is the numbering is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And the next KMAP has started from 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 31. Okay. So in this way, we can prepare 2 KMAPs of 16 cells each. And for the first KMAP, I can mark A is equal to 0, and for the second KMAP, I can mark A is equal to 1. Okay. Now the grouping pattern is slightly different, although individually if you check the 4 variable KMAPs, grouping pattern, grouping rules are exactly similar. Okay. These are exactly similar. That means if I am having 4 ones here, then it will make a quad. If I am having at the corners, it will make another quad. Okay. So all these rules are identical. The only thing is that if a group is appearing at the same location in both the KMAPs, that means if this is also there, then these 2 quads will make an octet. Okay. If there is a quad and on the same location, on the same exact pattern, same exact location, there is a similar kind of group in the another KMAP as well. So it will not be a 2 quads, but it will be a 1 octet. Okay. Similarly, in the lower structure, you can check that if this is a square and on the same location there is a square. So these are adjacent groups. That means size will double up. That means it will be an octet. Similarly, there is a row here, there is a row here. So these are adjacent rows. These are adjacent groups. Okay. And if there is a single group here and single here, then these are adjacent cells. Okay. Similarly, if there is a column here and there is a column on the same location on that side as well, so these are adjacent columns. So all in all, if a group is appearing on some location in one of the K-map and there is a same group in the another K-map as well, then size will double up. This has to be remembered. Okay, let's proceed further now and solve one of the question. So this is a 5 variable problem which has been provided to us. 0, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 0, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 16, 24, 25, 26, 27, 29, 31. Okay. So these are the entries which have been made in this 5 variable K-map. Now understand this carefully, because the answer writing pattern and identification of groups is very much important in this 5 variable K-map, because if that is incorrect, then it will lead to incorrect answer. So first of all, looking for those groups which are identical in both the K-maps. So I can simply see that there is one of these quad here and one of these quad here. So both these quads will make an octet. Okay, because these are appearing at the same locations. This is a square or this is a quad, but there is no other quad in the same location in another K-map, so this will be a quad. Okay. Now this 7 has nothing in common with this K-map. In this first K-map also there is no grouping possibility, and if there would have been 1 at this 23, then this 7 and 23 would have paired up to make a pair, but this is also not the case. So this 7 will remain single. Okay, this is a single. Okay, then 0 and 4 can make a pair. Okay, then this 16. Now for 16 you have two options. Either you can make this 16 and 24 as a pair, or 16 from here and 0 from the other K-map. Okay, so you have two options, you can opt any one. So I am making this 16 and 24, these as a pair. Now how to write answers for these? All these you can check that all the ones have been grouped. Now writing answers for this octet, you can see that BCD's pattern is same for both the K-maps. So you can check either of the K-map, both will be giving you the same answer. So if I check this horizontal row, last horizontal row in both the K-maps, we can check that this corresponds to 1 0, 1 0 here, 1 0 here, both are similar ones. So 1 0 corresponds to this BC, that means it is BC bar. So the answer for this is BC bar. And A will not participate in this. Why? Because this group is appearing in both the K-maps. So if a group is appearing in both the K-maps, first K-map corresponds to A is equal to 0, second K-map corresponds to A is equal to 1. That means nothing is common between the two. Okay. So in this way A has been eliminated. But if you check this quad, then this would be giving you answer that 1 1. That means it is corresponding to B, and from this side, column side, it is corresponding to E. So BE is the answer from this K-map, but this is not the final answer. Why this is not the final answer? Because this group is only made in the second K-map, for which A is equal to 1. Okay, that means A is equal to 1 means that means A will also be part of the answer for this group. Okay, similarly you can go here and make right answer for this pair. So for this pair, this 0 0 which corresponds to B bar, and from column side it is 0 0, that means D bar E bar. So B bar, D bar, E bar, and this pair is only made in the first K map, which corresponds to A is equal to 0. So it will also be accompanied with A bar. Okay. Similarly, this single one corresponds to 0 1 from here. 0 1 means B bar C, and from the column side it is D E, and again this group is only available in the first K map. That means it will also be accompanied with A bar, because it is only available in first K map. Now this last one, pair 16 and 24. So this corresponds to 0 0. That means C bar, and 0 0. That means D bar, E bar, and this group is only available in the second K map, which corresponds A is equal to 1. That means there will be A as well with this. So for all these groups we have right answers, and finally the final answer will be the sum of all these answers. So Y will be equal to B bar C plus this A B E complement, then this one A C bar D bar E bar plus this one A bar B bar D bar E bar, and then this one last one A bar B bar C D E. Okay, so this is the final answer. Okay, so in this way we can write answers for 5 variable K map. So if there is any query regarding these contents, 3 variable K map, 4 variable K map, 5 variable K map, K map with don't care, K map with POS conditions, you can type in the chat box and we can take more questions on that. And if there are no more queries, these are the final slides from my side. So if there is any more question, we can get back to the slides and solve some questions. If there is any question, you can send in the chat box, and we are having blank layouts for the K map. We can use those K map layouts to solve your problems. And if it is clear to you, then you can give your feedback in the chat box. If it is clear, if it is okay, then we can close the session. Okay, any more queries? Just waiting for 10-20 seconds from your side. Okay, got reply from Jitendra. Any other student having any query? Okay, then let's close the session. Thank you very much.